from Arkansas because it is just such a. I mean, it led Sports Center today. Like it is that you turn on ESPN and it's the thing people are talking about. Like, is it the end? Like, what does this look like? We've seen John Calipari coach teams. You know that. Remember that 2018 team lost four straight in the SEC, and they rebounded well, and made a run, and the SEC tournament, and then made a run in Sweet 16. So we've seen them do it, but what does it look like for a group that is just not as talented as some of the other teams that he's had at Kentucky? He has Adu Theo, he has Boogie Flan, and then beyond that, I mean, everything else is we have Jonas Adu launching threes. I just don't know what that looks like for them, what the road to recovery looks like. And do we see Arkansas miss the tournament in John Calipari's first year there? And what does that mean for his legacy and how long he lasts in Fayetteville?
They're missing the tournament.
They're saying that is such a like.
And
Whoa!
I don't think I said it on the show, but you can go back in our group text. And when they were in the non-conference, I think we were talking one night, and I was like, this team is not making the tournament. When you get through and this started to happen in the latter years at Kentucky. I had a conversation for an hour last night with someone about Cal and how much we love Cal for what he brought to Kentucky for a long number of years. Like, it was excellent. We went through the list of guys. We tried to pick who our top 5 players would be, and we would forget somebody, and we're like, man, just an incredible run that he had. But some of these things that are happening now in Fayetteville, I'm telling you, this was going to be Lexington. This was going to be Kentucky's team with Jaden Quaintance and some, maybe a couple of different faces from the portal. But I just don't see, like I told you, I went to bed last night and I was like, man, that would have been Kentucky. That went out to a bad start in the league. And I don't know if we would have beaten Duke. I don't know if Kentucky would have beaten Gonzaga. But here's why I think they're going to miss it. Yes, there's still quad 1 wins available. But are you going to be able to flip a 1-6 quad 1 advantage or disadvantage right now? Because are they going to go and run off 5 or 6 straight quad 1 wins? Because those quad 1 games are Missouri on the road, Georgia at home, at Kentucky, at Texas, Alabama at home, at A&M, at Auburn, at Missouri, or Missouri at home. Like, when I just named those games off, who do you have confidence in that they're going to be able to knock off that are good teams? It puts them in a really bad spot. This could be an Arkansas team and a coach that doesn't value the SEC tournament that needs the SEC tournament.
Oh boy, how quickly the fans have turned in Fayetteville, does that shock you at all? Because there was such a, was it kind of the warning that a lot of BBN kind of gave, was like, hey, it ain't what you think, at least with the staff that he's bringing with him and just the complacency and some of those things. Like, I thought it was very interesting. Willie Cauley-Stein went on KSR this week. So this is not just me yapping, oh, you're obsessed, you're just a hater, you're jealous. All that stuff is nonsense from the media side standpoint. We had Willie freaking Cauley-Stein go on KSR, and there was just kind of the conversation of like, hey, what do you think is going on at Arkansas? Why was it not working? He said it was a fresh start for everybody. He was glad that the move happened because it was clearly time. And Willie Cauley-Stein said that he went to practices and said, this is not the same coach that coached me. Willie, on the biggest public airwaves in the state, said that the coach that is there right now is not the same hard-ass, just undying expectation and saying, hey, we demand excellence from you because I believe in you. That's not there anymore. I've talked to people that have been to practice in Fayetteville, that have been around that program and have seen it with their own 2 eyes. And they have said, he doesn't command the room the way that he did in Lexington. He doesn't have that Godfather larger than life, like, man, this guy, when he talks, I need to shut up and listen. He doesn't have that same gravitas that he did when he was here. And a lot of it was, you talk to recruit parents that have, watched practice. And I mean, just talk to everybody. No bias whatsoever. The highs, the lows, everything. Like, they are seeing a lack of respect from the players, that the players are goofing off, shooting on the side goals while Cal's trying to talk and things like that, where it's like, no, you shut up and listen while the man is talking, like what you would hear the stories of when he was in Lexington, of the guys just, when Cal was talking, you listen. You don't get any of those things. The assistants and the staff that he's built is like, there's no accountability. There's no culture. There's no structure. It's everybody just kind of willy-nilly expecting the resume to create itself. They're expecting hey, he's a Hall of Famer, so Hall of Famers are going to do Hall of Famer things. It's like, no, it's a support staff thing. It is the tree branches that come off of the root of the tree that are failing John Calipari, even if he's not the same energetic, all gas, no brakes guy that he was before. There's a foundational issue right now in Fayetteville that the only chance that Cal has to fix this is by having some accountability. I love the man. I adore John Calipari, and I feel sorry for the situation he has put himself in by putting yes men and the people around him that he would rather just kind of put the guys that would pat him on the back and stroke his ego a little bit than say, hey, I love you. I'm rooting for you. This has to change. This has to get better, or your Hall of Fame legacy is on the line long term. It's going to be a short-term marriage in Fayetteville if this doesn't get fixed in a hurry with what he has in that building. It's not how he's recruiting. It's not the type of roster he builds. It's not portal versus high school. It's none of that. It is a lack of accountability and structure in that building, and he is the only one in charge of changing that. I want him to succeed. I love the man.
Me too.
I feel sorry for the man.
And we're going to catch some heat, obviously, because everybody's going to say, why are you all still talking about John Calipari, still talking about Arkansas? Like I said, this first year, it's going to be a lot of compare and contrast of these two programs. It's not just going to be us. It's going to be everybody talking about it. But I'll say this. I do not want John Calipari to fail.
Totally agree.
I don't. And there are probably some people maybe that they want him to, but I'm making it out there now. I do not like that he's not having success. I don't like it because I want him to do well. Now, when it comes to Lexington, I don't want.
Oh, I hope we win by 85 points. Like,
but I know. Obviously, we've covered kids that are in that program, and then I know someone that is involved in that program, and it's just, and I've heard a lot of people tell me things that Cal has done for them and Cal's done for their family and their son. And it's just, at one point when he was in front of a microphone, I kind of would hang on to, even as a coach, I would hang on to everything that he said because I thought he was always a step ahead of somebody. And he always gave you something that would get you fired up. Now I don't want him in front of a microphone because I feel like that he says things that it's easy to kind of attack. And it's just like, it's not the same energy. It's not the same. He's not putting the stuff out there that I felt like he said at times. Because he just looks defeated when he's up there. It's the same. It's just rehashing the same thing over and over again. We got to fight. I've got to watch the tape. Got to do this. Like, it's just, at one point, man, you gave him a microphone, you were getting a quote out of it, and it was headlining Sports Center, or it was on a hot video. He just had an energy about him. And I think it was a lot that he, for a long time, Jack, I think he wanted to prove himself. And winning that first national championship, it obviously proved it. But in the latter years at Kentucky, I think some of that fire went away. I thought we were getting it back. But right now, I'm seeing a guy that I'm like, how did we get here? And it's hard to watch. I hate it. Like, I really hate it. Like, I don't want them to lose 5 straight. I'll say it. I don't. I want them to go beat Missouri. I don't want them to lose 5 straight. But it's definitely not looking good right now. And we've covered Adu. We've covered some of these guys. I don't want to see them not having success. Adu Thiero's an incredible player, like NBA guy. That you and I were looking up his name when he first got a Kentucky scholarship offer.
Which we say they have changed his name in Fayetteville? What the hell is the deal with that? He's Theo. He's Theo.
Yep.
But they went out of their way when he was in Kentucky to say that he was Thiero. What the hell? Like, what? We have not been pronouncing his name wrong. He either changed how he wants his name to be called, or they have it wrong in Fayetteville. I don't know which is which, but it is hilarious to me that in the official game notes, in the official his bio with UK from the day he signed, it was they spelled it out, Thiero. I don't understand. It drives me crazy.
We knew that and made it a point
because we called him Theo. We started his entire time in Lexington with, "Hey, this is Adu Theo," and we were corrected. So why are we correcting now 3 years later? I don't know.
I don't either. But they're in a tough spot, and the game that a lot of it hinges on what happens. Like, do this because literally Rupp Arena's right there. But a lot of this hinges what happens across the street here in a few weeks with their season. And they're going to put a lot into that.